Right now, if I was doing symmetrical cuts here, I could make a spacer and register off of the spacer on both sides of this board, but I'm not doing it that way. I want to try and see if I can make a cut exactly where I want it, regardless of where it is. So I've got my adjustable square attached to the board, registering off of this face. Now this board's not square, but I'm going to use this, I'm going to pretend it is, I guess, and use this face as my edge. So I need to have 3/8 offset from this edge. Now when I bring the domino up here, this now interferes. So all I need to do is just loosen it up and get it out of the way. And incidentally, before I set this on here, I registered it at 4 inches. And the domino's got a nice little feature here. When you heard that click, listen here, I'll be quiet this time. That click is that little knob that comes out, and it also has this indicator line here that lines right up perfectly with my 4-inch mark. So 3/8 offset, I'll push that in, slide it over 3/8, and there's my cut. So I'll plunge it here, and incidentally I've got the board sitting up off of my work table by 1/2 inch because this is going to plunge through. I'm just going to hold it here with the handle and see what happens. That's all I can do. This is one of the first times I'm using it. Well, this is the first time I'm using it in this configuration, doing a field plunge cut. Let's see what happens here. Alright, I found a piece. It's not 8 inches wide, so I'm going to adjust my measurement here. It's a little under 7 3/4, so I'm going to make it 7 1/2. I'm going to make sure that it's square, and then these holes here are not going to be in the way whatsoever, so I'll be fine with that. I'll lay out my blocks to fit where they need to, and then we'll take it from there. Alright, same setup as before. Got my line here on the base at the 3/8 mark. And we are good to go for the first plunge here. Right after I turn the power on. Now if I bring my piece in here, this X has to be on the bottom. I got one of them, this one marked, because I'm registering off the bottom. So I need to have it this way, registering off the bottom of the tool. Okay, so this one is going, depending upon which way you're looking at it, I'm looking at it, it's on my right. So X to this side, X to the front, which means to the index pin here. So my X now is going to the bottom, and then I'm registering against that pin, like that. So let's make this cut. And then we'll test it and see how it fits. It's this way. No, I had my X on the wrong side. No, I didn't either. That's right. It's perfect. 3/8 offset. Good to go. Alright, I'll get this one out of the way. I'll cut the other one. Alright, that's where this support needs to be. I kept trying to center it up, and then it dawned on me that my cutout here is not perfectly centered, so it needs to go where it's in its proper position. So pushing back on this, tight to my stops here, it's nice and settled. Square this up, and that's my position right there. So I'll make some marks here, and we'll go from there. I'm going to use this as my mark, as my bottom. I'm going to call that my bottom. And now with this one, what I'm going to do, let me think about this, because I want to do two of them. I'm going to need two center lines is what I'm going to need. And I'm going to do two of them, and then I'm going to, on this one, I'm going to elongate the dominoes in this part here, because on the bottom side, it's not a show side, but if you flip it over, I don't want that gap to be down there. I want that to be a tight glue joint. So let's just see where we are here. Maybe 1 inch in from each side. That's what I'll do. I'll go 1 inch in from each end. Tight in the plywood, loose in this part, in the upright.